What's good, my people? Welcome back to EMGM Sports. It's me, your boy Enzo. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone is well. Now it's being confirmed. There's no more rumors, none of that. It's official. Dmitry Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev, part 2 for Undisputed. These two legends of boxing will be going at it again on the 22nd of February 2025. What a Riyad card that is. That's a crazy, crazy card. And let's be honest here, me as a big boxing fan, as a purist, this is the fight that I was looking forward to most. Everybody wanted to see this rematch. You know, there was rumors that Artur Beterbiev, he's gonna go over and fight someone else and defend one of the titles against a nobody that none of us know about. But how gassed are you that these two guys, these two absolute class elite fighters are gonna go at it again? Because you know what? I'm excited for this one. I'm looking forward to this one. I really feel like this one is gonna be better than the first one. And I know there's a lot of you kids out there, a lot of you guys, gassed up, absolutely crazy in the head, trying to say that the first fight was boring, the first fight wasn't entertaining, it wasn't exciting. Mate, what are you on about? Are you okay? You need to get your eye tested. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna go on some cow front shit and say that you don't know shit about boxing. You know what I mean? Roger Mayweather, you don't know shit about boxing. If you think the first fight was boring and it wasn't entertaining, and ooh, you're crazy. I don't know what you've been watching, but you need to go watch some misfit boxing. Do you know what I mean? Go watch Jake Paul and them, man, because that fight for Undisputed, part 1, the first fight, Dmitry Bivol, Artur Beterbiev, for me, was just an elite fight. Do you know what I mean? Two guys, absolutely top of the game. Do you know what I mean? They're the top of the tree. They went at it, and there was no mistakes made in that fight. Like any little error, you're getting taken out. Do you know what I mean? It was a game of small margins. Do you know what I mean? Like right there, like you can't make no mistakes because these two guys are elite. Like they're not giving each other no room for the other guy to take the advantage. Do you know what I mean? So for some of you guys, if that's boring, for me, nah, man. I found that fight to be very technical. Do you know what I mean? I just found it to be a world-class fight. You know what I mean? And also someone like me, who's a coach, up-and-coming coach, I'm always watching fights. I'm always learning. I watch a lot of amateur boxing. And when I watch these two guys go at it, like I'm watching it right there, just sitting, and I'm intrigued. And I'm learning the moves. I'm looking at footwork. I'm looking at head movement. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking at lateral movement. I'm looking at how these guys want to move back, how they're sleeping and sliding, how they're bloody rolling punches and everything like that, how they're blocking punches. I'm looking at all of that. Do you know what I mean? And these guys are absolute elite. And I'm gassed that that's going to be the rematch. You know, and another thing, these two are going to headline the card. Now, I was going back and forth with some people on social media, even friends and that. Do you know what I mean? When we're talking boxing, and some people are saying, yo, Daniel Dubois just knocked out Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? He's taking on Joseph Parker for the IBF title. Like, he's going to be defending his IBF title against Joseph Parker. People saying, yo, why is Daniel Dubois not the main card? Like, why is he not the main event? Mate, are you okay? Daniel Dubois, respect to my guy, yeah? He did batter AJ. He did beat AJ. We know. Do you know what I mean? He's a big fighter. He's a solid guy. But Daniel Dubois ain't a star. Daniel Dubois is not bigger than Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev, mate. He's not. Do you know what I mean? I know some people get gassed up because he beat AJ, but AJ is the star. Daniel Dubois is not at that level yet of stardom. Like, he's not. Let's be real. Like, he's a great fighter. But in terms of like being out there, Daniel Dubois is not that guy, man. He's not that guy. Daniel Dubois needs an AJ. He needs a Fury to sell out stadiums. He can't do it by himself. I don't know. I'm not sure how much Daniel Dubois does in pay-per-views numbers and stuff like that. We need to check that out. Do you know what I mean? That's a story for another time. But listen, put some respect on Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev. Do you know what I mean? These guys are known, mate, worldwide. These are superstars, man. Artur Beterbiev, do you know how big my guy is in the Muslim world, bro? in Canada. These guys massive superstars. You know, don't get twisted because you think Artur Beterbiev is quiet. He doesn't really talk much. You think like he's anybody. Nah, these guys they're stars, man. And also don't forget Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol. That's for undisputed. There's more on the line in their fight than Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker, who are only fighting for one belt. So it wouldn't make sense to put the undisputed card as the co-main. It just don't make no sense. You know what I mean? Come on, when people are talking and that, make it make sense. You know what I mean? Come on, make it make sense. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. Let's go back. Dmitry Bivol, Artur Beterbiev. I'm just gonna be quick on this, yeah. We already know, yeah. I want to talk Dmitry Bivol first, yeah. In the first fight, one thing that stuck with me is that, look, he fought well. He boxed really well. Like, I have friends who are also boxing coaches who are professional fighters, and they were telling me, listen, some of them had Dmitry Bivol winning that fight. I had Artur Beterbiev winning by a round or two, but, you know, I can't really disagree. I can't really be angry with people that got Dmitry Bivol winning that fight. I completely understand where they're coming from, because one thing I'm going to say to Dmitry Bivol, in that first fight, yeah, from the notes that I took, he boxed well on the back foot, yeah, but I feel like that also went against him. Do you know what I mean? Because one thing I noticed, I've been watching a lot of boxing lately, and ring generalship, yeah, is like the judges really score that high, the ring generalship, if you know what I mean. Artur Beterbiev was the one moving forward constantly. He was the guy hunting. Do you know what I mean? He was the hunter. And Dmitry Bivol was the hunted. Like, he kept moving back, even though he was boxing well in the back foot, letting the jab go. And also at times when they get coming to close quarters, he did let a few combinations go, and you have a few flurries at the end of the round, which you kind of like make him seem like he nicked around you. But I feel like Dmitry Bivol boxed a bit negative in that fight, which I don't blame him. I don't blame him for boxing a little bit negative, because you're going against Beterbiev, who's knocked everyone out. Why is he had 20 fights, 20 knockouts at that time before they met? So obviously Dmitry Bivol was not going to take that chance, leave himself exposed, open, and get clips and get dropped in arguably the biggest fight of his life, of his career. It's just not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? But what I want to see Dmitry Bivol in this next fight, yeah, I just want to see him have a bit more belief in himself. Do you know what I mean? Have a bit more belief on the punches that he's going to throw. Have a bit more belief, like, within himself here, to understand that, listen, I can hurt Beterbiev. Because in that first fight, even though he was throwing the jab, you throw little furies, but then you go straight away, you go straight back in a defensive mode. To me, it's like him saying, yo, I don't think I can hurt this guy. I'm just going to try and outscore him. I'm going to try and outpoint him. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like there were times in that fight, in certain rounds, especially towards the end of a round, where he'll go for a fury of punches, and he seemed to, like, not absolutely hurt Beterbiev, but he got Beterbiev thinking. Do you know what I mean? If you can get Beterbiev thinking, that means you can put a hurt on the guy. He's human after all. He's not a robot. Do you know what I mean? I just want to see Dmitry Bivol really go for it. Really go for it. And also, he's no longer undefeated. He's lost anyway. So what more has he got to lose? There's nothing to lose in this rematch. He might as well go all out. In fact, go all out, give it your best. If you get knocked out, so be it. So what if you get knocked out? If you get knocked out, you've been knocked out by Beterbiev, probably the greatest light heavyweight of all time. For me, there's no shame in that. So Dmitry Bivol, he has to go out there in this rematch and give it absolute everything. Throw caution to the wind, mate. Yes, I'm not saying be reckless. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying go in there and have an ill discipline or your hands down and anything. No. What I'm saying, go in there, mate. Go grab them belts, man. Go achieve your goal. This is what you've always wanted. You've always wanted to be undisputed. So go out there and get it done, mate. Do not leave nothing in do not walk out that ring feeling like, oh, I could have done more. Because that's how he felt like in the last fight. Even his post-fight interview, like, he felt like I could have actually done a bit more. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, look, it's easier to see in hindsight, like, we could have done more. We can all say that. But Dmitry Bivol, after that fight, the first fight, I felt like, yo, there's more in the tank. This guy could have done a bit more. And also, try not to just be on the back foot the whole time, because I really feel like that's going to work against him if he does that again. Do you know what I mean? I feel like he has to stand his ground. I'm not saying all the time in every round. I'm just saying there's certain moments in the fight where he should stand his ground and trade. And I know he's gonna be in danger, but you're always in danger in a boxing fight anyway. If you're backing up, you get cornered on the ropes. Yeah, you're in danger. You might as well just stand your ground and bang. I'm not saying every single round, but try and do that, Dmitry Bivol. You know what I mean? Listen, who am I to give Dmitry Bivol advice when it comes to fighting? Listen, that's my opinion. I'm just giving my 2 pence in it. Do you know what I mean? And I really feel like if Dmitry Bivol applies all of the things that I've just said now, yeah, he'll have a lot of success because Beterbiev is what? It's gonna be like 38, 39 or whatever. It's getting on. Do you know what I mean? He's getting on. Like even we saw in the fight against Bivol, the first one, his movement wasn't as good as he was in previous fights. So it shows that he's slowing down. Listen, Father Time doesn't wait for nobody. He eventually catches up on all of us. And, that's another couple of months that Beterbiev is going to be sitting there training, whatever, and he's getting old. He's getting old, and you want to catch him right now. I feel like in this rematch, Biv will never have a better chance for Undisputed. So go out there and just give it everything, man. Absolutely go and get it and give it everything. Now, I'm going to touch a little bit on Beterbiev. Look, he won the last fight, but just about. I feel like the reason why Beterbiev won the last fight is because Bivol in the last 3 or 4 rounds, he kind of gave too much space to Artur. He just retreated. He was on the defensive mode. So that allowed Beterbiev to just move forward, lead with his jab. Do you know what I mean? Let little punches go, corner Bivol, yeah, and let punches go, yeah, and which really looked good to the judges as well. Do you know what I mean? And also what I admire about Beterbiev, his ring generalship. That's one thing, me as a coach, I'm watching that. Like, if I'm going to be teaching kids, if I'm teaching amateurs, I really want to teach them to really understand, fully grasp fully grasp the ring generalship. You have to be aware of every single centimeter, every single bloody yard of that ring. You want to be in control of it. You want to make sure your opponent is dancing to your tune. And I feel like in that fight, there was a lot of moments in a lot of rounds here that Beterbiev was actually playing his music, yeah, and Bivol was just dancing to it. Do you know what I mean? He had Bivol on the back foot for most of the rounds. And I feel like the judges liked that style in that fight, and they scored it for Beterbiev. It was a very competitive fight. But we also saw that Beterbiev himself struggled in that fight. Do you know what I mean? He was taking a lot more punches than he usually does, yeah? Do you know what I mean? And he was a little bit more open, but it's understandable. Beterbiev also had that high level of respect for Bivol. Do you know what I mean? So he didn't want to take no major risk or something like that. So he didn't really give it his all either. But what he did in that night was enough because of his ring generalship. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't say he was the better boxer. I just feel like the level of control he had in that fight edged him and got him the win. But I feel like this time he's probably going to have to do a bit more than that, because I feel like I said about Bivol, he's not going to come there to retreat, be on the back foot, box on the back foot like he did in the first fight, because Bivol knows he's not going to get the win doing that. So I feel like Bivol's going to stand and trade a bit more. He's going to have more belief in himself. He's going to let more punches, higher volume output like he did against Canelo. So I feel like Bivol has to do that, because what's happening now between these two fighters? First fight, they both had such a high regard, such high level of respect for each other. They both went into the unknown. Both guys were undefeated. So there was no blueprint on how either guy can be defeated. But now they've been in there with each other. They share the ring. They know each other's power. They know each other's strength. They know each other's weaknesses. I just feel like right now, what is there to lose, mate? You share the ring already. You know what it's about. So that level of respect that both guys had for each other inside the ring, I think that won't be there this time. I don't think Bivol will fear Beterbiev as much as he did in the first fight. Because one, he survived. He wasn't knocked down. He wasn't knocked out. So he knows, listen, I can take these guys' punches. If I can take these guys' punches, I just have to make sure I'm in the best physical shape. Yeah, stamina, cardio, fitness, everything, you know what I mean? Awareness, everything is on point, and I can get the win here. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying Bivol stops Beterbiev, but definitely Bivol makes it way more competitive than I believe that it was the first time. Even though the first time was competitive, but I feel like Bivol boxed a little bit negative by being on the back foot. But some people admire that. Some people admire fighters boxing in the back foot and still scoring points. But for me, I always score it for the guy that's controlling the ring, man. Do you know what I mean? So Beterbiev, he has to now go into that rematch and want to knock out Bivol. Do you know what I mean? We've seen you. You've boxed with Bivol. Now let's see that knockout, brother. Do you know what I mean? Go out there, get this knockout, get the TK or whatever. You're 38, I think 39 years old, Beterbiev. So listen, you probably ain't got the legs that you used to, the movement that you used to. Do you know what I mean? And Bivol, he's still got that little youth on you. So he's going to come, he's going to want to start fast this time and bank the rounds early. I don't think Beterbiev can afford to just chill and, you know, feel his way into the fight like he did the first time. I think this time, if Bivol's 5-6 rounds up, I don't think he's going to let it go, man. I don't really think he's going to let it go. So Beterbiev has to be a little bit careful and has to know that he needs to start fast as well. That's my advice to Beterbiev. Do you know what I mean? But listen, it's going to be a crazy fight. It's going to be a fantastic fight. I'm looking forward to it. Like, for me, I'm calling this the greatest rematch of all time. I don't know what you're calling it. Do you know what I mean? But let me know in the comments. Has there ever been a much bigger, more anticipated rematch in the history of boxing? Let me know. There probably is. Like, I'm not thinking about it right now, but I'm sure there probably is. Let me know in the comments, man. Do you know what I mean? But everyone that was complaining about these fights, like saying, oh, what they're saying, oh, this fight was boring and essentially wasn't entertaining. Listen, if you want a knockout in a fight, yeah, I'll tell you quick, yeah, the only way a knockout is happening in fights, yeah, is through lapse of concentration, yeah, is through, what do you call it, someone making a mistake, a judgment of errors, or something like that, or when both fighters are trading. In between exchanges, someone gets caught in between that when someone drops their hand or anything like that, that's when knockouts are happening. Do you know what I mean? But with these two elite guys, world-class guys, they got so much respect for each other. There's no room for error. They are not going to allow the other guy to take any advantage. So hence why you saw in the first fight, high guards, yeah, hands up, yeah, massive. They both had the guard up high, this high, protecting each other. Do you know what I mean? Like everything was tight. Everything was real tight. There was moments where Bivol let shots go, but straight again, hands back, his guard right back, protecting that chin because they both had respect for each other. They both, you know, they appreciate each other's qualities. Do you know what I mean? And that's what makes these two guys so elite. But I feel like in this rematch, they're gonna go all out. And that's good for me. That's good for you. That's us. That's good for us, the fans, because we're gonna get the best of these two guys. And I'm gassed. And I'm really, really, really looking forward to this fight, man. But listen, I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna be back, obviously, with more videos. We're gonna talk more about this fight the closer it gets. Do you know what I mean? We're gonna break it down, etc., etc. This was just a little, you know what I mean? Just a little announcement, a little start of it. But we're definitely gonna go back. We're gonna come back with more of it. Do you know what I mean? Once again, man, listen. Thank you so much for watching EMGM Sports. It's me, your boy Enzo. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. That is the only way you're gonna help this channel to grow. But big up to everyone who comments, who likes, and who's already subscribed to the channel, man. I really appreciate you, man. Once again, stay blessed. I'll be back real soon with another one. Until then, peace.